So thank you very much, Ida, for coming to join us, to meet us again. We have met Ida Ruuth, visiting a junior lab in Aalto University with European teachers. We usually did that to see how universities open up to support schools and teachers in different of the levels, primary, lower secondary, and second, to see how design is supporting science and art all together. So thank you very much, Ida. Just before I let you discuss, we have briefly touched upon the subject before we made an appointment, and Ida mentioned two very interesting projects or programs. One is entrepreneurship and design for high school, and the second one was a monthly topic
Yes.
to support primary schools, and both of them you mentioned, and I was looking through the articles, allow junior labs to support nationwide schools, so to have a bigger impact. Please share with us.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Andrea, for inviting me to discuss about these topics. Yeah, junior, it's been like, how to say, we've been in a turbulence as many other places as well due to the COVID epidemic. And usually we are arranging most of our program in our facilities in Otaniemi, Espoo, Finland. We have a laboratory there, which we called Aalto Junior Lab. And that's where we organize our multidisciplinary teaching. But due to the fact that the COVID is affecting to all of us, we switched our operating methods into virtual teaching. So now we are still operating, but we are operating virtually. And the positive effect is that when we're operating virtually, we're able to reach schools, teachers, kids, youth nationwide in Finland. They don't have to come to Espoo anymore. They can book a meeting, a virtual teaching lesson, and participate all the way from Lapland, for example. So yeah, now we have increased our accessibility.
Thank you very much. You mentioned this when we talked as well, this turbulence moment, which meant for your programs or for you, for a junior lab, to both adapt and also focus. We have seen the opening now that the programs are open and accessible to wherever children are. Also on your website, I have seen that with these actions, you also support parents, because in some cases, the learning was at home. So tell us a few things about the programs you like during this period.
Yes, well, for parents and kids at home, we have this try at home section in our webpage. So we have multidisciplinary workshops from all the fields of Aalto University. So basically Aalto Junior, I usually say that we're Aalto University in a nutshell. So all the different fields that you can study or there's some kind of, well, all the fields you can study in Aalto University are somehow also represented in Aalto Junior. So we offer different kind of workshop materials on our web pages that kids can try at home, for example, from chemistry, design, physics, technology, and they are pretty easy for also kids to just read the how to do manuals also on their own, or they can do them with their siblings or with their parents. And we want to offer them simple materials that they can easily get from the grocery stores, and so that way they are accessible for them. That's one of our new added methods due to the COVID. And we also post these in our Instagram. Since COVID pandemic, we have increased our activity also in social media, so teachers and parents can find these workshops also from via our Instagram page. So activating Instagram, these try at home workshops, and then there are the virtual class lessons for teachers to book for their students for their classes. Then we have had few courses for high schoolers that are also virtual, and then we have theme weeks on changing subjects. For example, before Christmas we had a theme week about light, and it was for primary school kids. We held the same workshop multiple times, so there were different times teachers were able to participate with their classes. There were I'm sorry, I don't recall anymore, but there were like tens of different classes all around Finland that participated. So it has been really brilliant how many different schools all over Finland have participated these theme weeks we have arranged.
So, Ida, did the teachers and the classes joined Aalto virtually?
Yes. So whenever we have a virtual class, our junior teachers, they create a team, this Microsoft Teams meeting. They send the invitation for the teacher and they use the video call. So we actually, since last spring when we, no, it was actually, sorry, autumn, we built this tiny studio to our facilities, so we were able to broadcast there the virtual teaching.
That's great. I visited last time in March one of Aalto University micro facilities, micro studios, and it's really amazing. It feels very close to a normal class environment. So Ida, of course, the article itself sends the links to your webpage, so teachers in Europe can see about your work, can see more about your work. But I would like to ask you, in the end, you are also a researcher in design. I would like to.
I'm actually not a researcher. I'm a responsible.
Oh, you're responsible. Okay.
I'm responsible in arts and design.
In art and design.
Yeah. I have my master's in art education.
Okay, even better for this question. Ida, I would like to ask you, have you noticed, you mentioned in the beginning with this turbulence, both focus and adaptation. Have you noticed, or while you were adapting with whole junior lab, have you noticed differences in shifting the way classes, the way teachers, students learn art and science together?
Well, let me think. Well, of course, when we started these virtual classes, the kids and the teacher had somewhat experience already being in remote mode already during spring, because there was a lockdown in Finland, so kids weren't able to participate in the teaching. So we all have had to come up with new ways on how to have a dialogue or some kind of like communication when other people are like in the Zoom meeting or in Microsoft Teams, how to keep it natural. So I think they are now used to in the classes to have some part of the education virtually, and teachers have adapted to using different platforms. Well, like I mentioned, Zoom and Microsoft Teams, like they know how to use the cameras and these different technologies. But well, I have felt it's been really positive. They're not able to leave the classroom, but they have other possibilities to reach. For example, we offer these virtual lectures. So even though they can't visit universities or they can't visit Aalto Junior to meet these people from different fields, they're somehow able to have them speak in the class, and the kids are still able to ask questions, for example, via the chat, or the teacher puts the microphone on. And I think what's new is probably, I would say that people are more open to different kind of teaching methods. And before, because for example, in other parts of Finland, they weren't able to just hop on a bus and come to Aalto Junior and see what's going on. But now that they have the different connection via virtual teaching, they're able to gain more knowledge of how we in Aalto University teach science together with arts, and we offer these practical concrete examples that this is how we can teach chemistry with arts, or this is how we can combine entrepreneurship and design, and this is how they are actually linked in real life. We offer these real life examples for wider audiences with our virtual teaching, and people are more keen, and now they know that okay, this kind of ways exist. I can book an appointment via our junior webpage and reach for these different kind of teaching materials.
Thank you very much. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I hope this answered to your question.
Yes, completely, actually. Dialogue, communication.
Yes.
These are two very important that now, even more now stressed by the new online environment, we had to pay even more attention, and you take care of that in Finland, but this was a general problem. Everybody had to handle this, pay attention to the dialogue and communication, and lastly, opening up universities and opening up schools to like job related or real life related interests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge because there are a lot of young children and they might have problems like focusing. If I would have a virtual class, of course, I couldn't have a 1 hour monologue and talking in front of the camera about the subject. So somehow we need to have dialogue and communication. So we have divided the 1 hour class so that we have really compact start and somewhat 15 minutes, and then they are doing the learning by doing themselves, and then we have all this ending talk when they can show what they have done in the class to the camera, so our teachers can also give them feedback of for example, if they do some crafts or arts in the class, the teacher can take pictures and send the pictures to our teachers, and we can comment what they're doing in the class and give them feedback. I think it's really important for the participant kids also to get some feedback from the teachers of the class.
Yes, you're right. And we end up this visit with Ida virtually for now, for this year, with these, the not tips, but rather these essential elements of learning virtually and online. It's not staying on monologue, learning by doing, and then receiving feedback from colleagues, from teacher, and from the experts, to whom we are looking towards inspiration as students. Okay, thank you very much, Ida, for joining and for having this interview with us.
Thank you for having me.